Mr. Eggplant presents...
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. And I am back here with some more Mythic Plus videos, and this time it's going to be for the pre-patch of the War Within. So we are starting off here with a plus 12 Uldaman Legacy of Tier. It's actually going to be the highest key that I did for all of Season 4 and for the pre-patch so far, but I have a lot more videos coming up. In this video, I am running with Karm and a couple of her guildies, so I appreciate them inviting me, along with a new friend, Zoloa, I think is how you say their name, is a new marksman hunter that just started playing the spec. We talked after the key was over. It was really awesome seeing a marksman hunter in the wild. But this is going to be a complete breakdown of this run. I know I've already missed quite a bit of information here up front, so I will put my entire build for this run down in the description of the video, at least the talent string, and as well as any other pertinent information. I'll have timestamps for the boss fights, and then like my stat line, that sort of thing. But we did a big pull there at the very beginning and we lusted. And you will notice that I am using Barrage in this video. So for one, I wasn't entirely sure how they were going to be pulling the dungeon. I had a pretty good guess, but I could have done a little bit better there at the very beginning by making sure I was in a better position. And like right now, I'm in a fine position, but I could be up there a little bit closer. That way I'm not line of sighting my healer or line of sighting, the mobs that I'm trying to kill. There's a lot of priority interrupts, including that chain lightning, that's going to get very beefy and do a ton of damage. I did miss some interrupts on that. Again, I can always do a better job. I need to be living on that interrupt, using my tar trap. In fact, I didn't even have intimidation, or I guess I have bursting shot. I didn't have intimidation on my bar. I've been championing this thing to be able to use it, then I didn't even have it. So there was a ton of work that I needed to kind of fix and work out in this run. But I didn't die, so I'm really proud about that, and I think that was a big thanks to Karm for that. But this is a plus 12 legacy, Uldaman Legacy of Tier, and we are going to go ahead and go over to Lost Dwarves first, and the Affixes are Fortified, then Afflicted and Raging. So my goal here on this pull was to have True Shot up, and I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to use my Barrage, so I'm going to go ahead and delay it just a little bit. So the name of the game is still to get the most out of your tier set for Dragonflight, so that does mean going ahead and extending your volleys as long as possible. There I went ahead and used my Barrage. I think that's a decent place for it. We'll figure it out. We'll iron it out over the next couple of weeks. We've got some time. But I used it to extend the volley, and then also I use it at the very, very end of my True Shot, where I had over 70% chance to crit. We absolutely melted this boss. Luckily for us, we do tend to melt this boss since it's a 3-target cleave fight that they stay pretty much on top of each other the entire time. But I'm just throwing all of my cooldowns, and then something that I need to get better at. Obviously, this is the very first key that I did, so it is what it is. You're going to learn a lot, but just to send those True Shots, I missed probably 2 or 3 full True Shots during this entire run because I wasn't just sending them. I was still holding them like it was a 2-minute important cooldown. Not to say that it's not important, but you know what I mean. It's going to be down like a minute 15 at worst, so make sure that you're just sending it. You want to make sure and have it up for bosses or priority targets, obviously, but sending it is going to be key right now. So on the Basilisk, they work the same way as always. You want to interrupt that Carapace as much as possible. If you don't get the interrupt, go ahead and purge that off there. I could have spent some points in my tree to get the double purge effect. I believe that's what it does, or at least it's a lower cooldown. It could have definitely saved me a little bit, some damage for our group. There, I noticed I did not have all of my macros set up, so my Feign Death was not. I didn't have a stop casting macro. I got to get that changed. That's part of the macro collection over in my Discord. If you guys would like to check that out. But I sent that True Shot, and I'm feeling really bad about it right now because I have careful aims. Obviously, you're wanting to do that damage to Bromach. But, I should also mention, I was supposed to misdirect whenever the ads came out, so I'm a little bit off kilter right now, so I can't help my group out anymore. But I went ahead and used my barrage because barrage will go ahead. It won't do all of the trick shot damage, but it will still hit multiple targets even if you don't have your trick shots up. So there, we're going to go ahead and kill the totem, and then we are back on Bromach. And so 6'9 Chevy, I cannot talk tonight. 6'9 Chevy, there we go, is currently doing some amazing damage. He really knocked it out of the park on his unholy DK. It was weird seeing an A-bomb running around, I won't lie, through the little tiny halls of Uldaman. But here I went ahead and I saved my misdirect, and now I'm going to reload here. And there'll be several times in this run where I will forget that I need to be just spamming aim shot and rapid fire and not using those multi-shots in between there. So I'm just cleaving off of the totem, and then we're going to go ahead and go back onto Bromach. So Bromach's at 45% health, doing some really good damage there. We got above 550 as it sets right now, and now I'm looking at that cooldown of True Shot. I've got probably about a minute 15 left on there, and I'm needing to figure out if I can spend it again on this fight or if I should just save it for trash afterwards. So the Geomancer is in there, which needs to be interrupted. That's the important bit. And then we're just going to continue to cleave off of Bromach, and then here comes the totem. So we'll want to switch to the totem there. Switch to the totem, Tyler. Switch to the totem. There you go. So go ahead and get that totem taken down there. We took a bit of damage there. It didn't help that I was not in the shared circle of pain, so I definitely could have helped Karm out a little bit there. Either way, we got Bromach down pretty easily, and we are moving on to the next section of the dungeon. And I think I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but it's Afflicted and Raging, so there's going to be more purges thanks to Raging than normal. So, you know, living on that button would also be very wise as well. So I wasn't quite sure how big some of these pulls were going to be and how they were going to be padded back, that sort of thing. I kind of got lucky here. We found myself in a pretty decent position. Go ahead and use that barrage there, and then I'm just going to use all of my big cooldowns. So here they all come. What I should have done here was used a Binding Shot and Tar Trap. Again, I just flat out didn't do it. There's the Binding Shot, but I think they might have had Raging already at that point, so it didn't really matter. You know, hindsight's 20/20, and that's why I record these after all, just to get better at the game myself and see what I can learn from my latest runs. So, all right, so we've got just a couple more of the Custodians left, and then we're already thinking about cooldown usage for Talondras. Because we've got, I think, two Custodians left. I could have, again, threw a Tar Trap there, help my tank out just a little bit. You know, make their lives a little bit easier. But I'm looking at 52 seconds on True Shot. Yeah, I want to have it up for this boss, but this is just me, you know, just sending it at the beginning of the dungeon just to get in the use or in the habit of doing that again. Because for so long it's been that 2-minute cooldown that you could not whittle the cooldown of. So I'm going to go ahead and run up to the boss, make sure those are all close to the tank there, and then I went ahead and almost died there because I got both the knockback and the bleed. That's a very nasty combo. I was actually almost some like double tap damage where I didn't even realize what was going on. So I didn't commit either of my, well, technically speaking, one of those has 2 charges. So I did not commit any of those, so that means I will have it for later on. So at least I survived, and I didn't die, and I still have all my cooldowns. So here comes the Crushing Stomp. What you can do with Crushing Stomp is use a turtle. If you're in voice comms, for example, you can say, hey, you know, I'm going to be using my turtle. Make sure you don't use any big CDs on me. So there, I managed to absorb that entire amount of damage, so I didn't have to worry about that one. So I still have 1 defensive cooldown that has the 2 charges now. And then I still have my Fortitude of the Bear, and I still have my Turtle. So the boss is at 35%. I once again got that pesky bleed on me. My Barrage is off cooldown, and right now I'm thinking in my head, when am I going to use it? Should I use it now? Should I wait? Because I have to admit, it feels real bad to use Barrage on a single target boss, because it's literally just rapid fire at that point. Only it's a minute cooldown, and it costs focus. So there's the one downfall to running with it is on prolonged boss fights, particularly on Tyrannical, it does feel real bad when you have to spend it multiple times on the boss. But there we got the knockback again. I still had a little bit of a bleed left. I did not commit my turtle. That's probably hindsight 2020, should be using that. But again, that's Hunter Brain in action. So now we have another big pull, and I have my True Shot off cooldown, so it is ready to go. Those weavers you do want to watch out for with the AoE that can be stunned. So naughty me did not have my intimidation on my bars. Again, not used to it yet. I'm not used to all these fancy shiny things. But we had some really good damage on this pull here. We got everything lined up really perfectly, and then I went ahead and I sent my barrage again here. There's that Hail of Stone with a good knock up there from the A-bomb from Chevy. Yeah, he was on it with this A-bomb. He did some really, really good damage. And the one frustrating thing for really all three specs, all three hunters, good lord. Yeah, the unholy hunter, yes, that thing. Is that we all do really, really good burst damage, particularly when things stay alive in AoE for a long period of time, and we actually hurt each other by being in the dungeon. So there'll be pulls where Zuloa Zuul-Loa, that's what, there we go, Zuul, there you go. Zuul would need to be the highest damage, and then there'll be some pulls where I will be, or Chevy will be. It's just kind of how all three of our specs work. And you're also getting to see a hunter that's running with a pet versus a hunter that's running Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf was nerfed pretty significantly, but still seeing some good damage even with that 5% damage loss. So here we went ahead and lusted this because this is a really nasty pull. And at this point I'm thinking, am I going to use my True Shot? I'm looking at the map. What do we have left between us and the boss? If I want to have it up for all bosses, which is my ultimate goal, Tyrannical, Fortified, doesn't matter. That's my goal. Or be coming off of cooldown very quickly as the boss would start. I got really good with it in BFA after a while, where I would basically be rolling up to the boss and it'd have like 10 seconds left. But here, I'm going to go ahead and send it here. So I'm going to send my explosive shot, get my volley rolling, throw down the actual volley with salvo, and then I probably should have committed the True Shot earlier. I don't believe I do now that I think about it. I literally just did this run, and I kind of forgot what I did already. So that's kind of nice to go back and watch this. So I did not commit True Shot there. My thinking was to have it up for Emberon. I should have just sent it. So like I said earlier in the video, I should have just sent my True Shot there. That way it would have, about probably about 50 seconds, maybe a minute left on that cooldown. We would have been whittling it down that entire time thanks to calling the shots. And then, because we don't necessarily need it for Emberon at the very beginning, obviously we're doing more damage with our careful aim, but it's not the end-all be-all, particularly with rapid fire doing the bulk of our damage now. Which, by the way, at the very end of this video, I will do a breakdown, and so you guys can see what damage I did with what abilities. So there's the Afflicteds, but they did an amazing job of dealing with Afflicted. And then Emberon is melting very quickly, as I thought he would, with or without Lust. And then our goal is to get into 50% here without Lust. We did lose a couple of people throughout the dungeon, but I thought everybody did a really, really nice job, and this should definitely be a run that everybody in the group should be proud of. It was definitely a good welcome back to Mythic Plus, since it's been about 3 weeks since I've actually done a Mythic Plus dungeon run. Well, I guess I did some 2s, but we're not going to count those. So, all right, so I didn't record comms in this since I wasn't in their Discord, but at this point in the video, they're talking about, like, oh, it's not fair. Like, they're basically dead before we can even get up there and hit them. That's marksman for you. It's one of the nice things. I accidentally tab targeted to the boss, and so it ate that rapid fire. That feels real bad. Not as bad as Killzone still being busted, though. That's the main reason why I'm not running Killzone in this and running with Barrage. Although there is a build out there that you can run with both Rapid Fire Barrage and Killzone. I wouldn't run with Killzone, though, until it gets fixed. So there, I'm going to go ahead and send my true shots. True shots aren't as long now since the cooldown or the talent that extended them, the Windrunner's Guidance, was removed. But there goes Emberon, and we are on to the next pull, and eventually to Deios himself. Look at all this stuff. I absolutely like. If you guys ever run a key with me, I quote all Eric, I quote Olaf all the time. I absolutely love the voice lines in this. So I don't recall this being a pillar that was you could actually line of sight things. So I was thinking like if once it was starting to hit you, it would continue to hit you. So maybe I just missed that entirely. I am going to take a thunderclap bit of damage there. Don't take the thunderclap damage to the face. But there I'm going to go ahead and hide from that hail of stone. I don't really have any other outs other than a turtle, and I don't need to commit the turtle if I can just walk behind the pole. If I had kill zone, this would be perfect. I would literally just stay in line of sight, out of line of sight the entire time, because my volleys would give me line of sight. I am going to feel real sad once that does go away, though, I won't lie. So there goes the hail of stone there. So we're just trying to figure. I was confused at which one was getting pulled. I thought they were wanting me to pull the guy over to the right side. It was not the case. But here I'm going to go literally send everything. So volley goes down, explosive shot, my rapid fire barrage has already went out, and then we're just gonna massacre these weavers before they can really do any damage. And here's that part where Zul was really knocking it out of the park. So again, shout out to them. Brand new to marksman, former survival player that just wanted to just try marksman out and absolutely knocking it out of the park. Literally like maybe 4 days played on their hunter entirely. So like again, shout out to anybody I run into keys. I love chatting with you guys in keys. You guys make this so much fun to share this content and to share my fun little hobby known as YouTube with you guys. And then I will put all of the build information, like I said earlier, down in the description. And if you guys want to see other things talked about in these videos, please just let me know. I would love to add more content that you guys would like to see. And here is a prime example of I am really nervous right now. I do not know what I should be doing. So here comes another Thunderous Clap. I took both Thunderous Claps. That's a no-no. I took the Afflicted slow cast speed debuff as well. So I definitely could have done better here. Normally what Zaf will do is he'll bring just the two golems by themselves after we pull those other stuff. So here I found myself in a really bad position. I'm just out of position, and that's just something that I wasn't used to how this group was pulling. That is what it is, and if you're somebody who pugs all the time, well, you're not gonna cry too much for me. It just is what it is. I dodged one clap, but I didn't dodge the second one. But both golems are almost down, and I didn't die. So again, that's a shout out to Karm for keeping my butt alive, and for just having more defensives and more defensive power and capabilities in our build. I really think that Blizzard did a really nice job of adding that to the general hunter tree. So here I'm going to go ahead and use barrage before I use my true shot. So I've used it in several different ways. I haven't quite figured out which is the correct order of operations just yet. But again, I'm going to lose a lot of damage here because I am not in. I'm missing out with line of sight. But if you have kill zone right now, oh my god, we would just be standing back there while we're safe and just absolutely annihilating everything. And we lost Zul over there just because he had the curse. That's something that we need. I should have done a better job of interrupting on. I think it's the warder that puts it out. It may not be, but I'm pretty sure it is. But I'm looking at cooldowns already, and I'm thinking about how many pulls do we have left. There we go to hit. I'm going to go ahead and watch out for the clap there. Don't get the clap. It's never a good thing. It hurts real bad. Does a lot of damage. But I'm thinking about how many pulls until I can use my True Shot again. So I'm at 35 seconds right now. So if you watch just my True Shot cooldown, you'll see it whittles down very, very quickly, especially when you start doing those aim shots. It's like 2.5 seconds off. So I'm already thinking, can I get 2 True Shots out? Can I only get 1? What do I need to do to have it, to use it as much as possible and have it up for Deios? Because Deios does some damage, and there's a couple of spots where you know, I almost eat it just because of how that fight works, and there's some really bad overlaps. But we got this first set of Infinite Time Reavers down, and we are moving to the next pull. And Fubar did a really nice job of like being very consistent with the pulls here. But I do know if I use it here, we're going to be on this pack for just a little bit. So I might as well be spinning it, because watch the cooldown of True Shot. Like, it's going to start going way down really, really quickly. So I'm just going to pump in all my aim shots as much as possible. There, you'll notice I was using multi-shot when I shouldn't have. Like, that's just me forgetting. I don't know. I was a little out of my element, as in not super comfortable with the rotation, or super comfortable with the new setup, like with precise shots not showing as a shiny pop-up anymore. I need to see if I can get a weak aura for that, make that a little bit easier for my P-brain sometimes. I'm going to try to help my healer out here. I don't have a heal, pocket heal, but I do have my defensive that I went ahead and popped there. I made sure that my potion was not, or my file was not going to kill me and pop me out of invis here. I timed it very well, because you're going to see I get past it and then I'm immediately going to be poisoned. Because if I get hit with this poison, I get pulled from stealth. They see me. So you have to be very, very careful there. But now we're on Deios. I have about 30 seconds or so left on True Shot. My goal is to have it up for this, but I'm just going to start sending everything that I have. So that first wing buffet hurts, so I try to use a defensive there right away. I'm going to watch out from the little orbs that are falling on the ground. And then we are just going to be using, basically it's the big setup for True Shot here in just a second. So I'm just doing the normal rotation, trying to bait those orbs in good spots, and we just sent it. So I saw that they were going to use the Bloodlust, so I just said, what the heck, I'm sending True Shot. So I'm sending True Shot and sending all of my abilities. Unfortunately, I don't have volley up for this. That would have been really great to have. It is what it is, though, and it's not that big of a deal. It would have been much bigger had we had Kill Zone, so obviously you want that boss to stay in that volley to get that full value from Kill Zone. But here comes the volley, and then we're just going to extend it if I happen to get something like a free rapid fire. I used my turtle there to ignore the knockback entirely. And then we are already at 45% on Deios, and we're really, really moving very quickly. This was a really fun run, and I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy this video, particularly if you got this far in it. There we go. So I happened to get that defensive at the perfect time. I don't know if it actually went through perfectly, but at least it helps me with the dot, and that's what matters, as long as I'm getting some sort of value. So True Shot is coming off of cooldown here. We have 10 seconds left on that. Here comes the big burn phase, so I'm going to send everything I can here, and then here comes True Shot. So let's go ahead and send the True Shot there. Unfortunately, had I been just a little bit faster, I could have had volley up the rest of this, pretty much the rest of this encounter. So there's rapid fire. I'm going to use my defensive there because I knew I was going to get hit pretty hard, as well as Karm's getting hit hard. Honestly, everybody other than Fubar is getting hit pretty hard right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the left over here, and we are going to go ahead and finish this key off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Be sure and follow me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/MrEggplant. And we're going to look at a damage breakdown here in just 1 second. So be sure and check out the 11.0 Marksman Hunter Guide. And let's go ahead and look at the damage breakdown. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this damage breakdown. I did run with a Corrupting File in that run. I was so sure of Karm's healing ability, so I shouldn't have done that, so shout out to her on that one. So this is the gear that I was running with. I saw some good value from my Augury. Let's go ahead and bring this out here really quick. So Augury did 4.2% of my total DPS. I did go with Augury just because I had Bullion lying around instead of running with an Ashes of the Ember Soul, since I don't have a 2-minute True Shot. You do lose a little bit of punch with the True Shot, but you're going to be sending it so much that I think it's still going to be a net gain. And Augury was just something that was passive. You could also pick a another trinket, like a 3-minute trinket, like your Iridius Fragment, or you could always pick up like an Incarnate Icon as well, something that you can buy with Bullion that's super easy and pumps all the way up. In fact, Augury goes up to 535 anyway, so you know, it was just fun. So rapid fire damage was number 1. I actually had a ton of crits there as well. Was 61.9% of my damage was crits with rapid fire, and do keep in mind that's rapid fire from both my barrage and then also from the regular rapid fire. And then my aim shot damage was number 2, 19.8% of my total DPS. And oh, by the way, I did 599k overall. So some room for improvement. I definitely think I can do a little bit better next time. And then explosive shot and volley round out our top 4. That's pretty standard. We did see a little bit more multi-shots just because I probably shouldn't have been using it as much as I did. That's just kind of, I was still kind of in the mindset of the beta where I've been really practicing a lot to get the tier bonus down for the War Within, that I've already kind of screwed myself over for the War Within pre-patch, but saw some decent damage from just about everything else. Serpent Sting is only about 1.2% of my DPS, but I didn't augment that with Hydra's Bite. But I also don't think it would have mattered too much because things died very, very quickly. I just got a little bit of damage from everything else. This is pretty standard stuff. You don't cast too many arcane shots. The Incandescent Essence actually did more damage than a lot of my other stuff, which is kind of surprising. Let's look at my auras here. So my Zone of Focus, or my double blue silk lining, was up for 55% of the time. That's a little on the low side now, but that's still some really good value out of that. Maybe if I knew I was going to be taking all that extra damage and it wasn't going to be that as high, maybe I run with like an adapted Dracothis arm guard. But either way, I still saw some really good value from that double blue silk lining. Let's see what else. So I am still running with my Neltharian's Call to Dominance. It's not as good, but I still enjoy it, and it's a complete passive trinket. In fact, all of my trinkets are passive now, so never a bad thing there. Something I realized, I was running with Kill Zone in that. I won't lie, guys, I thought I wasn't, and I actually think in the video I said I wasn't. I don't think I saved my build. So I was running with Killzone, so I think I actually gimped myself some damage there. If I go back and really watch my rapid fires, I bet that you'll see me clip some of them. That's on me. I should have figured that one out. What I had planned on doing was removing that point in Killzone and putting it in Hydra's Bite, Bulletstorm, probably not. Or in the rhythm. I would have probably put that in the rhythm, or Hydra's Bite, probably in the rhythm. Okay, so I did have Killzone in that. So Killzone still broke, obviously. So that's on me. So that means that 599 is on the low end. I could definitely do better than that. But all in all, I'm really proud of that run, and I hope you guys get some value out of it. And then again, shout out to Zoloa. Really did some nice damage in there, particularly for being so new to the spec. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.